Change your mind, change your money, change your life. I am Coach Rob Lee Simmons, the host of this podcast, and let me be your tour guide to greatness. If I was doing any better, I would be you. Welcome to the Greatness Academy podcast. I am here with my brother. We say my brother from another mother. You look at us, you really believe that's my brother, right? Kesean Johnson, man. How you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for having me on. My little brother, Rob, I'm so proud of you, man. You really have grown up a lot, my brother.
Man, I appreciate it. And a lot of the maturity I've gained is through you and your wisdom and watching you on your journey. I think it's a huge testament to how important it is to have a mentor, somebody who's been there and done that, because they can tell you how to get there, and they can tell you the things that they did or did not do and tell you what not to do, and it'll help you get there faster. So I appreciate it, man. So I want to talk a little bit about your journey, man. So tell me a little bit about your journey into the film industry.
So I appreciate it. So when I was in the Army, man, we went to Iraq. Remember, we was all right. So me and Rob was in Iraq at the same exact time. And I found this cat when we was in Kuwait together and tried to get him to end up stationed on the same file as I was. But after we left that deployment, I came home and I started, I got a job with the Band and Corps, United States Army and Europe Band and Corps. And with the Band and Corps gave me the time, I knew I wasn't going to deploy, so I started film school, right? And I originally started film school just to shoot videos for myself.
That's dope. That's super dope. You're like, you know what? I'm going to make it happen for me. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs start off making things happen for themselves, and then they get really into like much deeper into the game. So, through your film career, you're able to acquire an Emmy. What does that award mean to you, and what does it mean to the people who look like you?
So it actually mean a lot to me for two reasons, right? I don't really talk about my Emmy a lot because when I got the project that I worked on to get this right there, so that's crazy.
Yeah, I see it like
the project that I worked on to get it was a public service announcement for the Marine Corps, and the person who was in charge of the entire shoot didn't put my name on the paperwork when it got submitted, even though I was an integral part of the framework of the shoot. So when it won, I was proud that it won. I was a little angry though because I wasn't on the paperwork. So
right.
I ended up getting my Emmy because I had to call the Emmy people and tell them that I worked on the project, improved, and then they gave it to me. But for veterans and for young Black males in real life, especially young Black males who come from single parent homes, I want them to look at it and be like, man, you really can get to wherever you want to be, right? I'm one of those people that like teachers used to tell me, yo, you're not going to make it. You won't do anything, right? You're going to become a statistic. I got in trouble a lot in school, but I'm here. That was 2018, right? And now we own a company. We got some things happening. So just don't ever give up. That's what it means to me. Don't give up.
Yeah, that's real, man. So coming from Chicago, man, how did the streets mold you to not only be streetwise, but as an entrepreneur and a advocate for others? How did that teach you, or how to navigate patience?
All right, well, that's funny because like I grew up, even though I grew up in the south side of Chicago, I have an entrepreneur in my family who was successful, right? So I got a chance to watch how he moved, right? And then I also have people who was on the start of gang membership, you know what I'm saying? So they really gave me the tools on how to move. And then my great granddad was really the person who taught me how to deal with people for real. So when you put that all together, it was really like an easy mix of being able to get around. But what Chicago really showed me is that wherever you go, as long as you come with respect, typically you'll receive respect back. But if you go to some place and you go sideways, if you almost 9 out of 10 times will get your noodle knocked back. That's for real. So I come with respect, and most times when I come with respect, people want to help me out.
No, that's real. So how do I pronounce your name? Hashim?
Oh, Nashan for my Hebrew name.
Yeah.
Nashan. Yeah.
What does that mean? And where'd you get it from?
All right. So during my conversion process, my rabbi was like, "All right, Shana, it's the point where you gotta like find your Hebrew name." And I pray a lot, right? So I fasted for like 3 days, and then I was reading this story online, and it's the Exodus story. For me, my favorite part of the Bible is the in Hebrew we call them or in Judaism we call them parshats, right? It's like portions of Torah. So my favorite portion of Torah is portion both, where it talks about the mixed multitude, right? And that's very important because if the divine wanted to tell you what the people look like, the divine would have said, these people look like this and these people look like that. And you know that because two parsha later is the Mishkan gets built, and it's very specific on what it looks like for the Mishkan. So Nakshan during the during the Exodus, Moses sticks his rod, his staff in the Sea of Reeds or the Red Sea, right? But the sea does not part at that moment. I know a lot of people think that it does, but it didn't. But the divine demanded one more test of faith. So Nakshan, who was Moses' brother-in-law, walked into the he walked into the sea, and it got up to his nose. And that's a very important key right there. It got up to his nose, and then that's when the waters parted. And then the angel Ariel moved in front, Michael, and then Gabriel, right? And then the divine was on top, right? So it was like that was the point where they was able to move. So that's who Nakshan is. He's a very important person that happened in the Bible. People don't really recognize that he's there, but every single time that you're talking about the tribe of Judah, right? Nashan is always the first name that they mention. He was the elder in the clan after that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that in the story that makes plenty of sense. That makes plenty of sense. You are a tester of fate for sure.
And so this is the other part. Like when I got my name, I called my mom, right? Because I used to read the New Testament a lot. I grew up Baptist, right? So I called my mom and said, "Hey, I think it was Peter, right, who was talking to Jesus, right? Jesus is he's in the middle of this turmoil. The sea is going crazy. He's like standing there, and he's like talking to the divine, but he's focused on the divine, right? And it's like everything's going crazy. Peter looks at Jesus, says, "Hey, Rabbi, can I come out there with you?" Right? He said, "Yeah, come on." Right? So he starts walking out. He's good. Then all of a sudden, boom, he's in the water, and it's up to his nose, just like Nashan. Right? At that point, Jesus grabs his hand and walks him back to the boat. Right? Jesus turns around, tells the sea to be calm. Right? This man said, Peter says, "Well, what manner of a man can walk on the water?" Right? And tell the seas to be calm, and they are calm, right? And he said, Jesus says to Peter, "You could do it too, as long as you have faith in the divine." He said, when you were walking on the water, you had faith in the divine. The moment that you shifted your focus, right? That's when you went under the water. So it was that moment when he was walking on the water, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm doing it." Woo. Yeah. So don't think about the fact that you're doing it because you're doing it. So that's why I tell people when they're getting into a new venture and they say, "Oh, I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that." Well, the thought was to try. The moment that you put any action to it, you're actually doing the thing.
We got another one, y'all. We got another one. My episodes be fired, bro. I love it. I got the best guest, period. I got the best guest, period, man. So let's talk about the Hip Hop Party for Change, man. Tell me a little bit about it. What does it do?
All right, so the Hip Hop Party for Change aims to educate young people from pre-K to the first year of voting on what the political system looks like, right? So from pre-K to fourth grade, we'll teach local level government, whether that looks like town or city, with the anticipation that in fourth grade, they'll be able to articulate what the local level government does, right? From 5th grade to 9th grade, we'll teach state level government, and in 8th grade, we'll partner with whatever hip hop thing they're doing, whether it's they write rhymes, they do a song, they're making beats, whatever it is, they start a business, whatever. We're gonna partner with them on that business in 8th grade so that they can understand, and then we're gonna start a business for them so that they can understand how business and individuals relate to the state, right? With the anticipation that by 9th grade, they'll be able to articulate what the state level government does and what the city level government does, but also moving into a high school space where they have a business that allows for them to make some money, like, you know, do their high school process, right? So then from 10th grade through the first year of voting, we'll teach the federal level, right? And we'll teach how it plays a role into everything else. The anticipation is that by the first year of voting, we'll have concretized, strong voters, right, who understand the political system, and they'll have the know-how to change the system, right? And then our overarching goal is that by 10 years, we would have created some of the most informed voters that the country has ever seen, but we move away from the tiered party system into a system that's more based in helping all Americans realize their greatness, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. My thought is the concept of this idea is amazing. Where did the initial thought come from, and then what is your plan of growth for the organization?
So as a young person, I was always into politics. My mom made me political savvy young, but also a lot of my heroes were like Fred Hampton, chairman of the Black Panther Party in Chicago, Huey P., Bobby Seale, Martin, Dr. King, Malcolm X. These are like a lot of my heroes, for lack of a better way to phrase it, kind of got murdered by the government. So I was like really into their stories and what was going on at the time. Well, at the time, the country was in a different space. But seeing the uprisings during the George Floyd uprisings really kind of motivated me. A lot of people know I'm a survivor of police violence. So, when it happened, it just really kind of shook something in me. And I wanted young people to understand that they are part of the system, right? Because typically right now, what young people learn is that you don't matter, all the way up till 18. And then 18, they're like, yo, go vote. You know who to vote for. You don't know why you voted, what it looks like, what to do, right? So then typically we go with tradition and we vote with who our parents voted for. And that's terrible because some of the people that our parents voted for make terrible decisions for us. You know what I mean? So if we could understand if the young people can understand, even us, if young people start to understand how political education works, they can teach their parents who don't know, and then they can go through the family, and then we can change lives for real.
Yeah, you brought up some great points. And I think a lot of people need to understand some of these points as well. Is that a lot of people in office, when they're changing policies, you really don't get the impact of the policy until years later. So to be able to educate the people who will be affected by these policies will allow them to understand. I remember when my mom or dad did or did not vote for this policy when I was learning about politics. Now I'm here and I clearly understand my responsibility as a voter. I think that's super dope. That's super dope.
If we take it to a really basic level that people can understand nationally, right? Everybody knows about the Flint water crisis, right? So how did we get there? We talking about a city inside of a state, inside of a country, right? So the federal level didn't really have nothing to do with Flint's water system, even though we can blame the federal system because they technically in charge of everything. So now we break it down to the state. So how does the state bypass Flint and not do anything with this water? Well, there's a point where Flint City Council was coming together, right? And they're saying we got to vote on upgrades to the water system. None of the citizens are present. Only people present is the city council and people who favor not doing anything about this water system because they can use the money to allocate towards something else. So if the people, the citizens, don't know that they could have just sat in the city council meeting, voted, no, we don't want to do whatever stupid thing you're doing. Yes, we want to upgrade our water. Every month, the city council has a meeting. And when they have a meeting, the entire city is invited to it. And when you come there, they vote on initiatives, who's going to close what school they're going to open, what's going to get funded, what's not going to get funded. And you can make it, you can literally sit in there and make a decision right there. That's the reason why, this is the last thing I'm going to say on that. If you notice in your city, when they're going to put up a new building or they're going to knock down something, in front of that thing, there's always this little sign that says, it says like city council meeting, and they gives you the date and the time and like the record number and everything. It's like a small sign. They have to put it in that space. The reason why they're doing that is because they're alerting you that the city council is going to vote to do something with that space, whether it's to demolish it, turn it into something else. And if you're a community resident, you can decide what goes in that space. You can say, no, I don't want another gas station. No, I don't want another fast food restaurant. Yes, I want a library. Yes, we want to put some money into this school. So be aware of what's going on. Go to the city council website, and you can see what's happening in your local community.
Oh man, I'm, as always, I am a true student, but my favorite part about having on guests is the ability to record it, because number one, guests only realize halfway through the session that I'm getting free counseling, and so I get free counseling. So if you watch all 26 of my episodes, you'll see how I took a piece of every guest that's been on so far, and that's what makes me who I am, man. So I really appreciate your knowledge, brother.
Ever since I've known you, you've always soaked up knowledge, right? I watched you, like, and realistically, right? I watched you become the dopest, like, MC in our group. It's because you was like studying how to be the dopest MC, right? And like that was like a really good thing. Like, I watched you grow into things. When you started in the Army, remember I gave you my book that I used to study for the board, right? I don't need this right now. You can have this. I want you to be the dopest soldier as you can. Then you just started rocking everything. Remember, basic training one, the soldiers, like, he was like really doing things. So you've always been a student of the game, and it's not that that your guest is really just that they are giving you free counseling, that they don't know it, right? It's a blessing to be able to come on your show, right, and be able to impart knowledge on other people, but then also learn why you are there. I don't know why I'm here, right? I just love you like a little brother. Like, I don't know why you want to talk with me, but if people can get something out of this, you can hit me at the hip hop party for change.org, by the way. But if anybody want to get in tune with me, like, I really do appreciate opportunities like this to spread the word, to try to do good for people, man.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That's amazing, brother. And so let's and I want to get back on hip hop party for change, and just because it just provoked a lot of thoughts about having kids involved in political parties early. How can parents better influence their children to take part and ownership of understanding political policies and their rights to vote and make change in their community?
I would say don't expose your children to national elections until they are at least 12 years old. They don't need to know what's going on in the national scene, because it doesn't really affect them for real. It's a dog and pony show at the very, like, the basic of it. I would say do things like go to your state capital if you can, right? If you can't, engage with your state reps, right? You should know who your state representative is. The person who goes on behalf of your neighborhood to your state legislator to go do stuff, you should know them. Call them. They'll literally talk to you. They will answer the phone and everything, right? You should know who your city council person is. Call your city council person. Introduce them to your child. Invite them to your cookout, right? Like, these people live in your neighborhood, but they provide the opportunity for you to be civically involved. Go to City Hall. It's a trip, right? When the teachers are planning, if you're a teacher, right, plan a trip to City Hall, or the city council or the school board, right? Go to a school board meeting if you're a parent and sit there. Become a member of the PTA, right? Like there's a lot that you can do to show your child how to be civically involved. The engagement in the federal system doesn't make sense if they don't know what it does. But if you show them, hey, I'm a member of the PTA, we vote on these things to help the school. Now they understand what voting looks like, right? You take them to the city council. You say, or you watch it on TV. Your city council, they do Zoom meetings now because of COVID. Watch it on Zoom. Just sit and watch it. People say, oh, well, that's boring. Okay, it's boring until they shut the school in your neighborhood, and then your kids got to go across the way and get treated terribly, right? And get, racially profiled on the way there. Okay. So if you stay in the neighborhood, you watch city council, I'm telling you, you can vote. The voting window will be open. They like, yo, it's 30, you got 30 days to tell the city council you don't want this thing to happen. City council be in there like, please, on day 29, don't. So go, just get engaged, man. Just if you don't know, your kids will never know, right? But we have a couple of resources. We developing more resources on the website, right? But right now we have 2 resources on the hiphoppartyforchange.org website. One is, what does the city council do, right? And it gives like the regular jargon that you'll find on anybody's website, but it also breaks it down, right? Put it in layman's terms, right? But go to your city website, know who your city council person is, talk to them, tell them what school your child goes to, introduce them to your child.
And you know what I think is a super valid point is I'm just trying to separate my thoughts. So when you talk about not allowing your children to watch federal elections, national elections, I think that in itself has drawn a big conflict within communities, because when people look at the president, the vice president, they feel like these people are untouchable and hard to get to, barricaded in, bulletproof doors. But your local political officers are literally members of the community and should be available for you, right? And so even that piece, and educating people on how responsive and responsible for being responsive that your local political office holders are, would really open gates. Because again, like if you ever seen or received a congressional, you know how easy it is to to get to the office and get somebody on the phone and them take the story, them take the little 2-page note and get things done.
I mean, it's not only easy to engage civically, but you got to make it fun, right?
For sure.
If you allow your children to watch the federal elections before the age of 12, first and foremost, they will be confused as to what's going on. Why is it that there's a group of Americans who control half of America saying that half of America don't deserve something, and then the other half is saying the exact same thing, right? So for me, people always be like, "Oh, Sean, you crazy for that," but like I take it back to George Washington's farewell address, right? It was written by Alexander Hamilton. In the and now remember, this is the dude that helped America become America. Like that guy, 5-star general guy, right? General George Washington says in his farewell address, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, we did this together, right? We did this as one country. We don't need to allow for a 2-party system to come in. In the moment that we do, this is in like 1789. In the moment that we do, we will lose the ability for Americans to understand that all Americans deserve things, right? And then it will open the opportunity for foreign governments to subvert our government, right? And for us to care about things that's not going on home, and we will end up becoming a military powerhouse, right? This is in 1789. This is advice that he's given us 1789. It's written by Alexander Hamilton, so it sounds real sweet.
Right.
But he never says Black, white, and Native American, even though we know at the time it's Black, white, and Native American people living in the country. He said we did this together. So until we approach until we approach politics with the idea that we doing this together, then we not gonna ever reach the point that we got to get to.
Oh, that's good. It's like we've been fighting against the grain the whole time. Fighting against the grain the whole time. So, as a social justice advocate, what is your ultimate goal that you would like to accomplish with your time?
Realistically, I would like for young people to be politically educated. If every American, right, read the farewell address that I just was speaking about, and added it to their repertoire, understood that he don't say any color, right? And it's like the blueprint to working toward one America. If everybody used that as a tool, we would be in a good space. But if we get the children to a point where they understand, okay, I'm sorry, I meant to say this earlier. I chose hip hop as a lens for the Hip Hop Party for Change because hip hop did this right here. American hip hop gave space for every single identity in the world. Does not matter what your identity is. Hip hop gave you a space and gave you the opportunity to spread your voice, right? So that's the lens that we taking for the Hip Hop Party for Change because we giving every young person the opportunity to understand your voice matters. You do count. You did what I'm saying? We want them to be savvy because that is going to be the thing that moves the needle forward. The more that they understand this one team and one fight, the easier it is for us to win at whatever we do, and all Americans will be included.
I do a lot of TikTok, and all I'm thinking is I'm gonna be doing shorts of these videos, and the video's gonna be so hard with the Emmy in the background. Like, it's gonna Emmy, yeah, yeah. Hey, so what's your in terms of what's next for you in your career, and with the organization? What's next? What can we expect from you in the future?
Well, I just actually got asked to in Baltimore City. There's no specified curriculum for social studies, right? So social studies teachers are allowed to align with whatever they can to try to get some things in. So one of the congregants at my synagogue actually is a second grade teacher. So she's going to allow me to come in for a week and educate her students on some political stuff. So that's going to be number one. But then we also are working with some people who do implement education into Baltimore City schools to get the Hip Hop Party for Change added to the curriculum so that we can just kind of start touching every school in Baltimore. Maryland being a proving ground state, we understand that when it works in Baltimore and then we roll it out to the rest of Maryland, then we can roll it out to the rest of the country and it's going to be completely as effective as we think it will be.
Fire. I love it, man. I love it. So I'll ask every guest that joins my show, I ask them this question. What is the largest monetary purchase you made, and then how did it make you feel?
Man, the largest monetary purchase I made. I bought a house when when I retired from the Army. It was $214,900 in Mississippi, right? Southern Mississippi on the Gulf Coast, Gulfport. The 5-bedroom. I really felt accomplished for a minute, right? The first, little while, I felt accomplished. But then I felt wrong because like the space that we was occupying, just it wasn't culturally significant enough for me and my family to be enriched, and it felt really like a loss at that point. But I gained the understanding of how to purchase a house and why you should be in a place where you're comfortable, right? And the place where you feel like you want to, that way you don't mind like being forever before you purchase a house. It's not just something you run into and just be like, oh, I got a house. Nah.
Yeah. And that's a good lesson learned, man. Especially in my line of work, people rush to the American dream, which is to have the house, but digging a little bit deeper into the why is how people find fulfillment and purpose. But I say that to say thank you, brother, for joining the show.
No doubt. I appreciate you having me on. I got to say this. I got the Emmy, right? If I don't say, please go and watch our films, Vetrepreneur Visions, look at that. how easy. Look at that promo, right? If you all can go see our films, right? Our latest is What Will Picasso Do? If you all could just go, and it's on Tubi for free right now. So if you all could just go watch our films, it'll help us get economically into space, but we can help more veterans enter the film circle.
And I'll drop that in the comments, and I'll drop a link in the comments and on the YouTube as well. Hey, so on the show we say that winners win, and we win when you win, and we want to thank you for being a winner.
Hey, little bro, I love you, and there's nothing you could do about it. Thank you for being a winner. All right, and everybody watching, thank y'all for being winners too. Because obviously, if you didn't feel like this was helping you win, you wouldn't be tuning in. So thank y'all for tuning in. All we doing is shining, man. We got a grand till it's over, dude.
You already, man. Hey, hold tight, man. We'll have a conversation after this. But as far as the show, we are out. Boom. Thank you for joining the podcast. And remember, change your mind, change your money, change your life.